Welcome to Talking Mopars, episode number 100. Before we get the show on the road, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for joining me each and every week to talk Mopars. It has been a fun couple of years, and here's to 1,000 more episodes. So without further ado, if you are a Mopar enthusiast, then you are in the right place. Don't go anywhere. You're tuned into the best Mopar enthusiast-driven podcast on planet Earth, and I'm your host, Chris Albrecht, better known as the Mopar Hunter, and this is Talking Mopars, episode number 100, live.
You're listening to Talking Mopars with the Mopar Hunter, your direct connection to all things Mopar.
Before we get started here, I'm going to have a couple friends join me. But I wanted to remind you guys that I'm going to be at Muscle Cars at the Strip in Las Vegas at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway, September 10th and 11th. And then the weekend after that, I'm going to be at Holly's Mo Party at Beach Bend Raceway Park in Bowling Green, Kentucky, the 17th, 18th, and 19th. So if you're close to either of those events, be sure to get out there. It's going to be a fun time. Lots of Mopar activities. The Holly show is all Mopars, and Muscle Cars at the Strip is open to all brands of muscle cars, but Mopars are typically pretty dominant at that show too, because it started out as Mopars at the Strip. So I'll be at those events. They're going to be a lot of fun. And we're here tonight for episode 100 to celebrate 100 episodes and just to hang out and talk Mopars. I'm really happy to be here. And, you know, the support that I've received from all the friends that I've made over the past couple of years, you know, since the past 6 years, because I've been doing the Mopar Hunter. And then, you know, a few years into that, we transferred over to Talking Mopars, and I've met so many cool people, and I appreciate it. Each and every one of you guys. So good times. Paul, what's up, buddy? Good to have you here. Walter, what's up? Thank you, sir. Brianna, what's up? Episode 100. That's right. Thank you, sir. You guys are going to Mo Party. That's going to be awesome. We will see you there for sure. Absolutely. And maybe we can get that story from you. Raymond, what's up? Thank you, sir. Scott, thank you very much. And we have a special guest in the house, my good friend, Blake. Let's bring him in. Blake, what's up?
What's up, man?
You know, just doing the thing. Hanging out, episode 100, man.
That's 100.
Yeah, gosh.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, and I feel like it's still in the infancy stages. You know what I mean? I feel like there's plenty of room left to grow and to make this thing huge. So,
what's the stereotype? Like, I think it's like a certain percentage that don't make it past 7 episodes. Is there's a baseline out there I've heard of.
It is. It's called pod fade, and typically most new podcasts don't make it past episode 7. I've heard statistics where there's millions of podcasts. Let's be realistic here, but a huge percentage of them are either not active or they stopped after a certain number of episodes. So like I've talked to a couple of people that have asked me, you know, are there any other Mopar podcasts out there that you know of? And I say, well, there was Uncle Tony's podcast, but he quit. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I'm still here. You know, D100 Talk is out there. I enjoy that podcast. So it's nice to have some people focusing on the truck aspect, because as you know, there's just so much to talk about in the world of Mopar. And I feel like I've been neglecting the history doing these lives, but these lives are so fun for me that I got to figure out how to balance everything, because I still want to get into the history of stuff. And, you know, there's so much to cover. I mean, the world of Mopar, like that's a deep pool. You know what I mean? We're still in the shallow end. But I thought to myself that it would be funner for me to bring on people that know more about the history of Mopars in the segments that I want to talk about. You know what I mean? Like I wanted to do an episode about Mopars from different countries. So why would I do all the research when I can have somebody from Australia on the show to tell me about Australian Mopars? You know what I mean?
That's a good
point. Yeah, it brings a different, level to the show. It'd be like me trying to explain a Hemi swap when I can have Blake Anderman from DIY Hemi on the show. But thanks for showing up, man. I appreciate having you here. And why don't you tell us what you've been up to with DIY Hemi? I know you guys have been doing some fun live video and just cranking out that content. So what's up with DIY Hemi?
Oh man, just trying to take a play out of your book, Chris, man. Trying to get out there, let people know what we're into, what's going on. So we've been definitely trying to do some more lives and get a little bit better feel out there for persons who are interested in doing Hemi swaps. And it's been helpful. A lot of people were just kind of like, I really didn't know, what you guys did before, but now I can see, I can understand. I've watched the lives, and that's helped a good bit. So right now we've got, you probably watched our last live. We've got the Hellcat 69 Charger on the floor. So that one, it's got like the full integrated Hellcat powertrain, as well as like the instrument cluster, the navigation screen, all that from the 2015 Hellcat is in this car. So it's really slick. Mini tub in the rear, all that good stuff.
And that's in the shop right now.
That's in the shop right now.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm looking through the window right now from the office into the shop, and I just see this blower staring me in the face.
Yeah, buddy.
It's awesome, dude. It's sinister. It's like jet black, crazy stance, full tubular suspension.
Oh wow!
It's a factory. The powertrain's factory 6-speed, so the TR6060 6-speed manual. So it's got the factory Hellcat clutches, clutch pedal, brake pedal, all that stuff, all mounted in there securely. It's got the instrument cluster mounted really nicely in there, the touch screen for the navigation, all that stuff.
Wow.
So it's been getting crazy deep, into all those systems and programming the body control module to work with everything, and trying to make believe it started life in that car.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's stupid clean. Like, it has 11,000 miles on the engine and transmission.
Oh my God! So would they just find a wrecked Hellcat and just take the swap?
Nice. It's a Cleveland Power Performance. I'm sure you've probably heard of them. They sell the turnkey pallet, so you get every scrap of wiring that was in the car.
That's awesome.
Taking all that, stripping it down to just the bare necessities. It's cool, man. And the fab's been done by this place called Papa's Ride Shop in South Louisiana. A guy named Cody does phenomenal work, all the metal work and the actual fab of the suspension, all that stuff. So we're just doing the electronics on the powertrain. He did a killer center mount exhaust on it. So
oh really?
Yeah, it's cool. It's very tasteful. Like, it's not tacky, like it's not just like stuck on there.
Yeah, it's
kind of Frenched in, like hidden under the license plate. So
nice.
It's real slick. But yeah, I got to get that out. And then our harnesses, we are stocked up. I think we've been selling. We still have probably about 90 units here that are getting final assembly, and they're pretty much made to order at this point. So we have the majority of our wiring harnesses in the boxes. And then you select your options on the website, which type of gas pedal you want, whether you want the like the 0304 bell crank to run a 727 or 904 trans, or if you want a new just sort of straight up electric pedal. We put that on. We put the connector on to match what gear engine it's going to go to, and then we test it and ship it out the door. So that's been going well. And my car is not running right now.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So we did the pink car for Mopar Collector's Guide. It was a pink 72 Cuda with the 6-1 swap. So I'm waiting to see that article come out. I thought it was going to be the September issue, but I think it might more so be the November now, because I think October just shipped, the October issue. So it should be the cover of November, December, maybe.
That's awesome, dude. I'm so happy for you guys.
Yeah. So to finish that car, I had one of our secondary prototypes for the wiring harness for that engine. I had it on my car originally, and I took it off my car just to verify everything on the pink car's harness, just to make sure everything is exactly as it needs to be, functioning correctly, looks good.
Yeah.
And so I need to put my harness back on my car. So my car is just sitting in the lift on the corner collecting dust.
Oh man.
It's crazy, man. We got all kind of stuff going on. We have to be ready for Mo Party. That's going to be a blast.
Yeah, absolutely. Blake and Matt Monroe from the Matt Fro Monroe on Big Blocks Garage podcast. I'm meeting those guys out there. Mike's coming too, right?
Mike's coming, man.
Yep.
Mike's coming.
Nice. Blake's business partner's coming out. So it's going to be a great time. I'm super excited, man. Between you guys, you, Matt, and Johnny, you guys you're the deadline kings. Like, it's amazing.
Man. That's
yeah.
I get all the sleep in the world.
I'm really excited to see you guys get your stuff to Mo Party because somebody wants to offer a challenge to you guys. Now I can't give the details yet because I got to make sure your cars get done, but it's a very cool challenge. And we talked about it a little bit and he proposed it to me and he told me what his idea was. And I said, oh, they'll love that. So I can't wait. So I got to talk to him a little bit more.
I'm going to commit to you right now. My car is going to be there.
Okay. All right.
It's going to happen. I mean, I spun it over yesterday. The harness is not fully in it, but it was enough to sputter it over. So I'm committed. So my proposal to you is on, and I would not mind if you release some of that because I have a plan. If you choose to divulge what I recommended to you, I'm going to let you in on a little back secret.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about that off air. Let's figure this out a little bit. I want to make sure that we're on the same page here because yeah, this is gonna be fun. I'm excited. It's what day are you guys getting there on Friday?
No, we are leaving very early Thursday, so we'll be driving all day Thursday.
Oh, okay.
And we should be getting there pretty late.
Yeah,
it's a fairly long drive for us. It's like 14 hours.
Jeez.
Yeah. It's pretty
wow.
Luckily, it's gonna be Mike and I. We'll trailer the car up just because 14 hours. This car still has a 4-speed transmission.
Yeah.
3,000 RPMs. Even if it is a Gen 3 Hemi, 3,000 RPMs for 14 hours is quite a bit.
Yeah, that's that's a risk that I don't know if I'd be willing to take, man. Or I suppose you could make it. It's just a matter of convenience. Oh, yeah. You know what I mean? And God forbid something happens, at least you have a trailer. You know what I mean? Especially
in October, I've driven it on a couple of 1 hour, hour and a half trips.
Okay.
It's fine.
Yeah, sure.
But not 14.
Yeah.
But no, we have Cruising the Coast coming up
That's
first full week of October, and I'll be driving there, and that's a 2-hour drive from here. Wow. So I'm driving it the whole way through back roads.
Nice. Just
the twists, the turns. See some sights, I want to go. Yeah. I want to go Mopar stalking just like you, man. I want to see what I can find on some back roads.
Careful what you wish for, Blake. It's a dog eat dog world out there. Now, you drove the car the last Cruising the Coast, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I can't believe how fast it's been. It seems like just yesterday I was like, hey man, I don't know if I can get you that. I don't know if I can get you the banner in time.
Yeah. Still have the banner. It is still hanging up in the background for all our shoots.
I know. I see it. And I'm like, yeah, buddy. Thank you very much for keeping that up there. That's
finally
much
getting back on shooting videos, man. So
awesome.
You're so welcome. I want to make sure that everybody gets the word out here.
Yeah.
So I was hoping, I don't know, I haven't seen the cover lately, but in all the photos that sent to the magazine publication, I was hoping it would maybe be in the background.
Watch them doctor it. Watch them like Photoshop it out. That'd be hilarious.
Yeah, they're really cool guys. So
I keep hearing that
they're going to be at Mo Party, so I'll introduce you to them.
Awesome.
Really nice guys, Rob.
That's cool, man. I've heard nothing but good things about the Mopar collectors guys. So
they're super cool.
Yeah,
and it's they're local to us, so I just go up into Baton Rouge and about a 45-minute drive from here.
Oh, no kidding.
That's
I didn't know that.
It's in Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Oh, wow.
So when Power Tour stopped here, so it ended here, I want to say in 2014 or 15, maybe 14. And then it started here the following year. It usually starts at the city it ends in the previous year. their whole premise is that it's a continual road trip. So wherever it ended this year, it's going to start here the next year.
Cool.
So we got to see it 2 years back to back here in town, literally 3 miles. The arena is like 3 miles from a DIY ME headquarters. So we went to that event, and it's just been crazy. Like, I can't express it. Like, you go there, and every time it's in town, Rob from Mopar Collector's Guide, he has Moparty. Actually was like kind of a hot rod power tour thing before the Holly. You know, they used to kind of unofficially call it Moparty or Mopower tour.
Nice.
So it was like all the Mopars on the hot rod power tour would meet up at one night at one specific venue along the way. And it was kind of like, hey, all the Mopar guys from the hot rod power tour, let's get together and like have a throwdown, have a bash. So that was my first time going to the Mopar Collector's Guide headquarters, is when it stopped here, the power tour. They had the Mopower tour, the Moparty, as they kind of called it unofficially back then. Awesome. And it was at their headquarters off of Foster Drive in Baton Rouge.
Oh, cool.
They had a live band. They had food catered.
Oh, man.
There were Mopars all over the place, and it was crazy. So at that time, all I had was a C10. Right?
Yeah, sure.
And I had a Cuda, it just wasn't road ready. So I'm like, well, let me drive my C10 over there. It was LS swapped, and it died on me. So I'm like, oh no, sea of Mopars. No. So I drive it. The fuel pump it cut out on it.
Oh, okay.
So I pull in, no problem. We go to leave, and like the truck won't start. The fuel pump just died. And so Rob was super cool. That was my first time really meeting him up front.
Yeah.
Close. And he's like, oh, no, man, look, we'll lock it in the back. It'll be fine here. Come get it whenever. So he was really cool about that. And it's kind of funny that the way we met, I was a Mopar guy, but I had a 10, right?
Sure.
He laughed. He's like, Chevy will do it every time.
Oh, that's awesome. You're just giving me more reason to keep looking at places in Louisiana, because I'm Texas bound, but Louisiana isn't too far away from Texas.
Texas is good, man. I lived in Texas for a little while. It's super nice.
I have to, man. I've been it's crazy up here in Washington, and I just don't see it getting any better anytime soon. So, and I really want to be centralized to be able to hit more events and be in a closer location to all my favorite events, and cruising the coast. You keep talking about that, and it just sounds badass to me. I love those types of road trip type shows and stuff and events, and like the Hot Rod Power Tour. I really want to do that someday. That would be a lot of fun.
But like, so much fun, Chris.
Yeah, God, it looks like a lot of fun. And then Carlisle, I've already made it. I've committed next year. I got to go to Carlisle. I keep hearing from, we were talking about it last night. Ian works for one of the guests that came on. He works for Toyo Tires, and he was talking about SEMA, and he's like, look, SEMA's great. He goes, but it's one of those things where it's like, you really only have to see it one time, unless you're really like, you want to see all the new products and all the builds and stuff. He goes, but one time is really all you need to go to actually just take it in. So next year I may not go to SEMA, but I definitely got to go to Carlisle, because that's the Mopar show of Mopar shows, next to the Mopar Nats. That's another one I got to get to someday. But Carlisle's it, man. Every time I see pictures, it's got everything I like. I mean, they even have PT Cruisers there. So it's like, you know what I mean? It's like, they got everything.
I were joking about the PT Cruiser. So this was my first time this year, and I had always heard about it. I've gone to Nats many years, and I didn't know what to expect. I heard it was better,
Yeah.
And everyone I talked to, I'm like, well, how's it better? It's just better. It's like, well, what do you mean? Like, specifically, we get there and it's just better. But it's one of those things there. When we left midday Sunday or something. We left. We were really only there for Friday and Saturday, so it was kind of quick in and out. They had over 3,000 cars on the show field.
That's crazy.
3,000 on the show field, and so it's different. Cruising the coast is something we do every year. And definitely, I have to get you down here for that.
Yeah.
We just got the numbers back. was it this week? So 15th was the shut off. August 15th is the shut off for early bird registration. That's, you could register online, get everything, get your whole package set up ahead of time, right? And they'll email you, they'll snail mail you a postcard with your registration number on. As of that shut off, that's when they stop taking online registrations and mail-in registrations. Everything now, you have to just wait till October and register in person when you get there. Pre-registered, 8,053 calls.
Oh my God.
Pre-registered. That
Wow.
doesn't include the people that show up on a whim and drive down for the day and register at the end. That doesn't include the people that go and don't register at all. You have 40 miles of coastline that is a rolling car show.
My God.
The streets are lined with people sitting on the sidewalks in the beachfront with pop-up tents, fold-out chairs. I've seen pictures of Woodward Drive, the whole Boulevard. I've seen pictures. I haven't been.
Yeah.
So to be fair, I haven't been there. But when I look at pictures of Woodward and then knowing the experience I have at cruising, it's 5 times, 6 times as big.
For those, so I didn't even know that existed until you told me about it. And when you told me about it, I was like, whoa. So it's like a cruise, because sometimes you see people, they write cruise, and it's like a, cruise around the block or something, or maybe go through town once. 40 miles of coastline. That's a rolling car show. That's insane.
Yeah. So this is kind of the premise. Okay. So this is the 25th anniversary this year. Really big deal. They always have a giveaway car. Okay. I would say going back to 2003 or 2004, every year they've given a car away. So the benefits, the proceeds go to Make-A-Wish Foundation, but it's always a really nice one. This year for the 25th anniversary, it's a convertible 57 Chevy Bel Air. But they've had some really cool stuff over the years. And it's a fully restored turnkey muscle car or hot rod every year. It's like $25 for 3 tickets to get in. And someone is guaranteed, it's not, the car is there. Like you can literally walk up, look at the car, whatever it is.
Wow.
Someone's going to win that car on the closing Sunday of Cruising the Coast. Somebody's going to take that thing home.
That's crazy.
So it is, I think it's 7 cities now, over 40 miles of Gulf Coast beachfront road. 7 cities, each city for the entire week. It starts on a Sunday, ends on a Sunday. So it's a week-long event.
That's crazy.
It's all the 7 cities every day of the week have something going on. Like every city has a grandstand set up with live bands, live entertainment.
Wow.
You have food trucks, you have vendors. There's the Coliseum, which is kind of the central of the whole entire coastline. It's like in the middle in the Gulfport Coliseum. That is like where the swap meet is. That's where the autocross is. That's where like all the vendors set up their trucks and that kind of stuff. But it is 7 cities that are all having one big party at a time. So what it is on you go into the registration tent, you get your sticker. Okay, you put it on the dash. It has to be a 1989 or older vehicle, and that allows you to get in any of those 7 cities. Each of the 7 cities has like their entire downtown blocked off for just registered cars. So they have police. You drive in, you find a spot, park downtown. It's all like foot traffic. 7 cities having a simultaneous car show over a 7-day period. And you pull up whatever band's playing, you just have fun, you cruise. Well, on Thursday, they start the stamping. So Thursday, you have a card, it's like a passport, and it's got all the 7 cities on it, or at least 6 of the 7 cities, right? And if you cruise Thursday through Sunday, you cruise to each one of the cities. As you enter into the gates, they'll stamp your card like a passport. Oh. You turn that in at the last spot, when you fill in the last blank, no matter which city it is, you turn it in. And they pull out of all those, I don't know how many $500 gas cards and all kind of like prizes, stuff like that. So you're literally just you're just cruising at your pace. You do what you want, drive up and down the strip, tuck into these little small beachfront cozy towns, listen to bands, have a great time. They have like poker runs and little events that go on. They have like a veterans cruise. So they say, hey,
cool.
Tuesday at 2:30, there's a beachfront like VA hospital and like a retirement home. They get all the classic cars and they literally have a parade that goes through the VA home for all the veterans there that are on assisted living, right? So they do that. They have a homecoming parade at one of the high schools every year. They have, oh man, it's just, the list goes on and on of all these things that you could do. It's like no other. And then at night, it comes alive even more. So it's like the tail end, the Friday, Saturday, at the end, sometimes Thursdays too. Like, it is bumper to bumper traffic for miles of highways.
Wow.
You just pull over, sit on the side, and it is like burnouts, people playing, goofing off, and
my God,
it's nuts, dude. I can't describe it any other than it's nuts, and it's just so much fun.
All right, when the truck is Hemi swapped, I will figure out a way to get it down. I want to spend a week down there and just cruise the car. That sounds like a lot of fun. I feel like I would suffer from FOMO though when you've got so many car shows going on. It's like, God, you're missing out on. You got to be missing out on something cool somewhere.
You do. You miss out. Like, God, literally. You follow the Facebook page, and you scroll through, and this is. A week later, you're suffering from withdrawals. You just went from this huge event that was so much fun, and you're a week out, and you're like, God, it's another year to cruising the coast. Oh, it sucks. And so you're thumbing through pictures, and you're just like, I was there all week, and I never saw that.
Yeah,
I never saw that. That's people are like, oh man, did anybody see the jet ski motorcycle? And it's like, no.
Wow.
People build their own cars and bring them down there.
God, that's crazy. Yeah, that sounds like an event that I need to go to.
You definitely do. The Wednesday, they have the All Mopar show. So one of the cities, based St. Louis, ropes it off. There's an old train station, and it is a Mopar only show. So you can only get in if you have a Mopar, and it's just littered with cool stuff.
Okay, well, definitely going to be there.
It's cool.
That's awesome. We got another guy in the chat. Steve tried to come on a couple shows ago, and we were having difficulties, and we figured out last night. Ian, one of the guys that came on, said he knew what the problem was, and the problem was that Steve had Facebook open and StreamYard open at the same time. So that was creating feedback. So we'll bring Steve on, see if we get the same result or if it's all cleaned up. Steve, welcome to the show. How's it going, buddy?
I think he's on mute.
Steve, you're on mute. Unmute your mic. You're muted. We can't hear you. All right. While we wait for Steve, how long have you been going to that show, Blake, that cruise?
Ooh, Chris, I have been going since I was 18, 17.
Oh, wow. Wow.
And what's funny is, so, at some point back in the past, it used to be a vehicle had to be 25 years or older to enter. That's what it was back then. And I thought that was cool. It's like, oh, cool. As we grow older and as the years go by, more and more vehicles will be able to enter. That would be really fun. So maybe 6-7 years ago, they said, we're just going to stop it at 1989. We're not going to go any further. And it's just like, dang, that's some cool stuff after 1989. So this is all to get back to this point. I've been going to Cruising the Coast so long that the car I took to my first Cruising the Coast now would have qualified 25 years old to be in Cruising the Coast.
That's hilarious.
If they would have kept that pace up. So I look at old photographs of me and my buddies, and it's just like, it's nuts.
All right, we're going to bring Steve on here in just a second. Let me catch up on this chat. I'm so horrible about keeping up on the chat, so let's get through this real quick. Adam, that's my buddy from work. Yes, episode 100. Walter Joy, 2022 goal is live stream from Carlisle. Absolutely 100%. That is the goal. Brian, congrats on the 100. Thank you, sir. Bill, congrats on number 100 from the Magnum guy. Here's to 100 more. Yes, sir. Thank you. Yes, we did say Mo Party. We will be there. Roy, this guy, he keeps nailing trophies and stuff. He keeps getting accolades from these car shows that he's going to. So that's awesome. Oh, local union show. I actually, the Teamsters, which I'm part of the union, they're having a show too. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Hopefully a lot of people show up. We'll see about that. Spencer says, love the Power Tour. I'll be going to the final stop for this year. That's cool, man. I've been looking at the Power Tour for a long time. So I want to get over to the Power Tour some point. I got Cruising the Coast now. I got the Power Tour. I definitely got to check out Woodward. That's another one that's cool.
Yes.
So much cool stuff. Walter says Tennessee / North Carolina is another hot spot. Really? Spencer, Carlisle is an awesome show. I've been once and will hopefully go next year for the 50th anniversary for the 1972 model year. That's awesome, dude. Joe Vito, what's up? The president of the Canadian Mopar Club is in the house.
Cool.
All right, Steve, let's get you on. Now, before I get you on, Steve, remember, only have StreamYard open, okay? So if you have Facebook open too, close that. That way we won't get any feedback. So here we go. Before I get you on, Steve, remember. There's the feedback. Facebook. If you have Facebook open too, close that. Steve, can you hear me? So here we go. There's blink twice if you can hear me.
Okay, I just turned Facebook off.
All right, cool. We got Steve. Let's bring on Side Road.
I lost.
You got me? Can you hear me?
Maybe I need to turn Facebook back on.
Can you hear me? You got me? Okay, we got you. We got you. Oh, and there he's gone. We're bringing in Side Road. Matt, what's up, buddy?
What's going on, man?
Not a whole lot. I don't know if you heard what I was talking about earlier with Blake, but I don't know if you want to announce that now or what. You want to talk to him about it now?
Yeah, might as well.
All right.
So, I mean, I kind of wanted to sweeten the pot a little bit for you two, and you and Matt with the race showdown.
Oh gosh.
Basically, I wanted to say that the winner between you two will get a free free sticker design.
Oh, snap.
So just sweeten it up for you guys.
I got to have power adders somewhere around here.
Yeah. Yeah. So Matt will have to listen to this later and figure out that he has another challenge. That's cool. Yeah, I'm excited about that.
Hey, I'm game. I'm game.
Yeah. Sweeten the pot a little bit.
Yes, indeed. I'll make that.
Yeah, I'm excited to see that little showdown though, for real.
Me too.
That's exactly why I'm throwing the little honey in for you.
I cannot lie and say that I am not worked. I'm worked. Yeah, the A bodies are light. So yeah, I'm sweating a little bit.
It's gonna come down to who is a little crazier. Now I feel, Blake, that there's an advantage that you have, and I feel like there's an advantage that Matt has. Obviously the A body a little bit nimbler, okay? But you've already been behind the wheel of your car, and you've gotten some wheel time behind it. Matt's going to be in this completely new car to him, because last time he was driving the Duster, it had a slant six. Now he's throwing a Hemi in it. It's going to be a different ball game. So it's going to be interesting to see. I'm glad I'm not driving. I'm glad I get to watch. This is going to be fun.
So my theory is, so he has the auto and traditional suspension, 8 3/4. I think with the light weight factor, I think quarter mile he will win. I just think so. I think if I don't watch it with the 4-speed, I'll blow the rear tires out just launching. I just think he's going to take me in the quarter. I think I might have an advantage in the autocross, just because, like I said, I've been behind the wheel. Maybe I have a little advantage there. But he's lighter. That's kind of my prediction. Is he'll take me in the quarter mile, and I'll take him in the autocross.
Gosh, what are we going to do for a tiebreaker?
Yeah, I was literally going to say the same thing.
I don't know. We have there's a couple other things that are tied to it. There's like a cruise. And
yeah, I heard about the cruise. I didn't realize there was going to be a cruise too.
yeah,
So I got to figure out who I'm going to ride with. I think I'll ride with Matt in the Duster, and then you and Mike in the Cuda. It'll be fun.
and there's something else. I think it's called like a 3S challenge or something.
Really?
I don't even know what that is, but it sounds cool.
Well, I'm bringing. Hopefully, if he gets back to me, I'm bringing Blaine from Holly on the show to talk about Mo Party. So we'll find out everything we need to know probably next week for episode 101. Hopefully, if everything goes good, we're working on the schedule right now because it's coming down to the wire. I told him, I was like, I didn't think you guys were going to reach out to me because we're getting pretty close to September. So, but I've been kind of talking about it here and there to kind of let people know that we're going. So it's not like it hasn't been promoted, but all right, Steve, let's bring you on, dude. So it's not like it. There's the feedback immediately. All right, Steve, let's bring you on, dude. Steve, can you hear me? There's the feedback immediately. All right, Steve.
Okay, can you hear me now?
I can. I'm going to give you free reign for 5 minutes. Tell me what's on your mind, dude. That way there's no feedback from me or any of these other guys. I'm going to give you free reign for 5 minutes. Tell me what's on your mind, dude. That way there's no feedback from me or any of these other guys.
Well, you know what? It's happening again. I don't know what it is. This computer thing. Well, you know what? It's happening again. It takes like 5 seconds and I can hear myself talk.
Do you have only StreamYard open right now?
And I can hear and it's loud. It's hard to talk over myself.
Only StreamYard open right now.
Well, I turned loud. It's hard to talk over myself. I turned Facebook off and I lost you last time.
Weird. Turn Facebook off right now and let's see what happens.
And I lost you last time.
Weird. Turn Facebook off right now. Episode 100, folks. Oh.
Okay. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. And I have no feedback.
But I can't hear you if you can hear me.
I can hear you fine.
Yeah, I hear you fine.
But you can't hear you can't hear?
Can't hear.
Oh man. Well,
I don't know. Man.
Steve, you and I, let me contact you and we're going to do an offline, non-live episode. All right. Oh,
okay. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. You can hear me.
I can hear you.
All right, Steve, welcome to the show. Steve, he's a local Challenger owner, and he also has a Dart. I met him a few years ago at a show that's going on tomorrow. That's the Sunbust show. That's a local all Mopar show put on by Mopars Unlimited. And I'm going to go tomorrow. Steve, you're going to go tomorrow. Are you going to bring your Challenger this time or no?
No, I'm bringing my truck and a trailer, and I'm going to try to unload a whole bunch of parts that I've been storing for years.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I don't know what prices they're going for now, but I'm going to figure it out. But probably give people good deals, I hope.
All right.
Get their cars going.
That's hard to find in the Mopar world right now. So it'll be. Well, I'm excited. I like swap meets, so I'll bring a couple $100 and see what you got.
Yeah, well, I got Challenger and A-body stuff. I've probably got just as much I'm not bringing. I'll bring next year, but
okay.
Might have to talk to you about some swinger parts.
Yes.
Yeah, I've got 3 of them here now. Yeah.
So, Steve, you've been into Mopars for a long, long time, and we met because I saw your F8 green Challenger. Tell us about that Challenger.
Well, man, somewhere around 1990, 91, saw it had a little nickel, little yellow newspaper. If some people don't even remember those things, but
I do.
Yeah, I called the guy up. He's out in Lopez Island, and it said Challenger for sale. And he says, "Well, it's a TA." I go, "What?" And I'll be right up. I asked my boss for the time off. Went and grabbed my kid out of school, jumped on a ferry boat, and went to Lopez Island and bought it. Well, that was 30 years ago. And Man, I've been buying and selling parts. I must own 20 Challengers in my life. Buying and selling parts. I put that thing together myself. The only thing I didn't do was paint it myself. I did everything else. I sold parts, traded parts, just about everything on its original pieces. I don't know aftermarket stuff. And just the car was running and driving, $1,500 car back then, and
Crazy.
Drove it home and tore it apart. And I literally had to four people pick it up and put it on a trailer to get it where I'm at now. It was all in pieces for many, many, many years. Yeah, it's a beautiful car.
It is. You could eat off that thing. It was so clean. I'm not just tooting your horn because you're here right now, but it was one of the cleanest cars at that show. I was like, wow, this is crazy. And you were right there with all the wing cars. And I was like, this Challenger, I probably took 100 pictures of that car just because I'm a big fan of F8 green and it just looked good. It's just a clean car. But you had a funny story, Steve. I remember you telling me about a girl sunbathing on this car.
Oh yeah. I bought it from her brother, and he told me a story that she got it brand new for high school graduation, and she would take it out down to the beach and they'd lay on the roof and sunbathe. Well, I had to replace the roof because it was so tweaked out that I had to cut the whole roof off with skin and reskin the roof. And other than that, it was a pretty rust-free car, except it had been in a front-end accident, so the hood was gone. And so it doesn't have it has a TA motor in it. That's another story, but she got in a wreck, and she traded the guy the motor for the bodywork, and he put a 318 in it. And I'm in search for the motor, but the motor that I have in it is a TA motor, came out of an F8 green Challenger. I have the VINs and everything for the car. I bought the whole car. This guy down in Oregon, he was restoring the car at his friend's boat shop, and the boat shop burned to the ground. The car was in the boat shop, and he had all the parts to the car and the engine at Keith Black's shop. And then the interior parts in his apartment. So I bought the entire car minus the shell.
Wow.
For $4,000. Motor and all. Motor been rebuilt. 4-speed car.
Okay.
And I took those two cars and I put it back together. They just the VIN don't match on the motor is the only thing. For as far as the last digits, but.
That's crazy that she would trade bodywork for.
Yeah.
Wow. That guy knew what he was doing. He's like, oh yeah.
He stripped that car of all the TA stuff, man. I had to scrounge and scrounge.
Oh man.
Original TA parts.
That's crazy.
The fin, the spoiler, everything was gone. Even the differential was changed out.
Wow.
Oh, he knew what he was doing.
Yeah. He saw a sucker, man. Oh, that poor girl. She had no idea she was getting taken for a ride, and not in a good way. That's rough. That is rough. Dude, sunbathing on the hood, man, or on the roof. That's insane.
Yeah.
You gotta.
It came from Lowe's, but I figure it was bought in Anacortes.
Okay.
Actually, I got the hood from a sales guy in Anacortes Dodge dealership. It was stuffed in the back room.
No shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's like, I gave him, I think, $800 for the hood, and it was factory original hood stuffed in the back of a dealership.
That's crazy.
And it came off a car. It wasn't new. It wasn't an OE or anything or a NOS or nothing like that. But
yeah. When's the next time I get to see that Challenger, man?
When you come over to the peninsula.
All right. Sounds good.
Well, I'll probably take it to a show when this COVID's over. I don't know.
Yeah.
See what happens.
Right on. Have you taken it to any of the shows this year? I know we had Good Guys and stuff, but I didn't see you at Good Guys.
No, it's over here in the peninsula. It's kind of, I don't like taking cars on the ferry. Oh man.
Yeah. I wouldn't either.
I had a brand new car, and then some little kid gets out, bam, bam, my door. I'm like, it's like, really?
Yeah, he's going swimming. See ya.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah,
that's rough.
It's like, it's drive all the way around. I won't put that car on a ferry. No way.
Yeah. I don't blame you at all. Yeah.
They just cram them in there. Just, you're.
Yeah, that's crazy. I know that there was like a little show on, I think it was Vashon Island recently, and everybody loaded up all their Mopars on that little ferry that goes from West Seattle to Vashon Island. Man, I was like, God, I don't know if I'd want to do that. That's, but
yeah.
We have another guy in the chat, Brian. We're going to bring Brian on. Brian, can you hear us?
Oh yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me all right?
Yes, sir. What's up, buddy? Nice to meet you.
Oh, not much, yeah.
What's cracking in your world?
Oh, nothing besides going and looking at a 340 Duster today. My buddy just bought.
Oh yeah,
those ones I sent you that picture of, the yellow one.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So tell me about the road, or tell us about that Roadrunner, and then tell us about that Duster, because you sent me pictures of this Roadrunner too, and
the car was beautiful.
Yeah, tell us about that.
Well, I went and my buddy, he had a friend that had a friend, and I live in Illinois, right outside of St. Louis.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so my friend calls me. He's like, "Hey, we're going to look at a couple cars." I'm like, "All right." We go look at these cars. It's in a little bitty garage. I mean, it's a 2-car garage, and they had 3 cars in there. Well, there was I think it was an 87 Super Coupe on this side that was all tore apart. And on the other side of the Roadrunner was a 73 Cuda. Well, the 73 Cuda and the 71 Roadrunner where they were literally that far apart. When we pulled the Roadrunner out, it actually rubbed the Cuda a little bit.
Oh, wow.
Well, I'm looking at this car, and I'm like, because my first car was a 71 Satellite. I know these cars.
Okay.
I'm looking at this car, and Missouri has inspection stickers where they punch the last year. Well, I look at this car, and the inspection sticker was there. The last year punched was 78.
Oh, wow.
This car had been sitting in that garage since 78. This guy's dad, the last time he lived in this house was like 89, and he just kept the utilities going and kept the taxes paid on it because he wanted a place to store his stuff. And then his dad ended up getting dementia, and he's like, "We got to get rid of this house." And his sister, with the guy's sister, was like, "Well, we'll just call one of those junk places to come, and they'll just clean everything up for us." And I'm really glad they didn't do that. But yeah, it was now the car had 100,000 miles on it, so it was like 7 years of rough living. But the vinyl top was perfect. It had very minimal rust in the quarters. I got a ton of pictures I could send you that car because I helped them sell it.
Yeah.
And I have a YouTube channel. It's a Dust Devil Garage.
Okay.
And I have videos of that car going through it and looking. I mean, the interior was all covered in mold, but I just went in and wiped it out, and it was all. I mean, there was one little rip on the driver's seat, and then in the headliner in the back there was a rip about that big, and that was it.
Wow.
Well, go ahead.
What did it take to get the car running? You guys got it running and then sold it, or what?
Yeah. We I got a video of that too, and it's crazy. We put a carburetor on it. Didn't have the original carburetor was in the trunk. He had just sold his race car, and he took his carburetor off his race car and put on it. Put a battery in it. Put an electronic fuel pump to a gas can. He cranked it once, and it kicked off, but then died.
Okay.
So the other guy that was with us started working the carburetor. He cranked it again. It fired up and just hummed.
Wow.
After sitting, and you can see in my video where when it first kicks off, a big old cloud of dust
Really?
Up out of the engine bay. Yeah. And then after that, I was like, nobody's going to believe this. I go, they're going to think that we warmed this engine up, but no, it was just, it fired up just like that.
That's crazy.
I did some work to it, fix the brakes on it. And I did another video where it was in my shop, and we were going to take it out in the yard and drive it around a little bit. So the video starts, I had to move my truck out of the way, and the video starts me walking up. Well, actually, no, it was the drive part of the video started with me walking up, and my buddy Tom, the guy that owns the car, said something. And I was like, I know what he's going to do. I ran inside the shop, and I focused on the back tire. And he lit it. It's an automatic car with a slapstick console bucket car. He lit that back tire up and went through all 3 gears. And you can see the tire start to spin slow, then it speeds up, and then it's just white. The whole garage. The garage smelled like the racetrack for like 6 months. Well, then I go out, and then the next thing I shoot is the garage, the garage door, and there's smoke bellowing out, and the headlights of the car come on, and it comes driving out of that garage. It was really cool.
Sweet.
But yeah, I mean, it was a great car, and I was going to buy it because, well, I'll just tell you, he bought that car and the CUDA, which is pretty rust free. It was just taken apart. And I'm going to be doing a video on that too. What else? He got a set of B-body bucket seats, 73 white bucket seats that were perfect. I ended up selling those. He got 383 out of something, a 67 383 that was laying around in the guy's stuff. Just all kinds of stuff. A Sure Grip 8 3/4 rear end, and he paid $10,000 for all of it.
Whoa! Wow.
Yeah, and basically he wants the CUDA because he has a Hemi. He wants to put a Hemi in a CUDA. He's 71 years old. He said that's been my dream car forever. It's not a 71 CUDA. It's a 73 CUDA, but I got a 426 Hemi, and I got this CUDA now, and that's he sold the car to fund that one.
Wow.
And he passed it along because it was a numbers matching I checked the numbers, a numbers matching 383 Roadrunner, 71 Roadrunner, that in that great a shape. And he sold it, he sold it for $12,500. Just,
That's it?
Yeah.
Jeez. Wow. How long ago was this?
I want to say about 3 months ago.
Oh shit!
Yeah, it was up. The car was up on Marketplace. He started out at 15 for it, but he said it. I wanted to buy it. I didn't have the money for it. I'm glad I didn't because I'm a hot rodder and I'd have just screwed that whole car up. I'd have put side pipes on it. And
What's funny to me is that it was only $15,000, and I've seen rot boxes for $15,000.
Oh, yeah.
And somebody still it's almost like somebody cut from my own cloth went over there and was like, "I'll give you $12,500 for it."
Yeah.
What is happening?
The thing is, he wasn't losing any money.
Yeah, sure.
I never did send you I'll check it to make sure after we're done here, but I am pretty sure the last 3 or 4 numbers of the VIN are the number of car when it came off the showroom.
Yeah, the sequential number.
The sequential number. But I think I want to say if it's 5 numbers, it was 00800.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. That's cool. Nice.
This is like the 800th car to come out. It was really low sequential car too.
Wow.
Well, what had happened though is it had been in an accident. I guess back in 78, and the front bumper was pushed in, and the back bumper was bent. And I guess back then it was just a car. Somebody got in an accident, and they're like, hell, it's got 100,000 miles on it. It's about dead. He ended up selling it. But that accident saved that car from going through the 80s and the 90s and people hot rodding it. And it just sat in that garage.
Wow. I mean, the price he let it go for, God bless the guy. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
God, that's one of those cars. God, I hope whoever got it is doing that car justice.
The thing is, this guy's dad who has dementia, he was a collector. He has his son is putting together, he's got a 73 Challenger.
Okay.
That he's putting together that somebody had put. It was actually, I've looked at it, I've seen the car. It's an actual 340 73 Challenger that somebody put a 440 in back in the day, and he's getting that running. But I've been in this guy's basement, and it's like it's a huge walk-in basement, or walk-out basement. There's a pathway through it. there's direct connection boxes of stuff. He's got a set of blue. The anodized blue direct connection valve covers for a big block in the box.
Oh, yeah, those are rare. I had a set of small block ones, and those were rare. To find the big block ones is next to impossible, especially NOS in the box.
Oh yeah, he's got a 440 6-pack sitting there with all the carburetors on it, just sitting there. The guy had a lot of money, and he spent a lot of money. He's got parts, but he's trying to sell the stuff slowly. I'm guessing because, he doesn't want a bunch of people at the house because his dad, they go kind of in and out with the dementia. Yeah. So, his dad could come at any minute and be like, "Well, you selling all my stuff for?"
Oh man. So gotta catch him on one of the bad days. Go in there and just clean him out.
But he's not ever going to be able to do anything with it. The guy's son, the guy who sold all this stuff, he's a Ford guy.
Oh really?
Yeah, he loves Ford trucks and stuff. So, I think he's putting that car together. We've tried to talk him out of that the Challenger a couple of times, and I think he's putting that together because that's like the last one of his dad's cars that he got, and it was in the best shape of all of them.
Now, you also sent me pictures of this yellow 340 Duster. Is that an original 340 car? What was it, 73 or something?
73 340 Duster, console bucket car, yellow, nice. Black interior, and there's not a spot of rust on this car. I don't know how my buddy finds this stuff. And where it had been that car has been sitting for 20 years.
Oh wow.
And
it looked pretty clean in the pictures. I was like, I'm surprised that it's been sitting for that long.
It's got patina, but my buddy's old school. He wants to paint it all up nice. And I'm like, I would get this thing running and drive it. People would love, because the patina is perfect on it.
Nice.
But he's going to fix it all up and everything. But I went over and looked at it, crawled all through it tonight. I was supposed to be taking video, but I'm bad about that because it's like I get over there. If I'm by myself, I'll do the video. But we were sitting there talking about the car, and all of a sudden it's like, 2 hours later, I was going to shoot a video on this car. I'll do it next time. So I'll just do it when I'm working on it. But,
right on. Seems like everybody's finding cars out there. It's few and far between that I see such good deals, though. And when I do hear of a good deal
for that one.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, man. The Duster, he paid $6,500 for it. He was talking to me when I first saw it, like, I think I paid too much. I'm like, no.
And it's all original or what?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's a good deal, I would say. If it's all complete, numbers matching, even though it's a 73, like it's just hard to find anything complete like that.
Yeah. For
a reasonable price. That sounds reasonable to me.
I've seen 318 Dusters in that condition going for $6,000.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. It's the market is for A bodies is definitely on the rise, especially if you have, like what Matt has, a Swinger or any, especially the V8 cars. If it's got a V8, you can throw an extra zero at the end and get some money for it. But right on. Well, thanks for coming on and thanks for sharing the story about that Roadrunner, man. God, I love the fuselage cars. They're really starting to grow on me over the
like
past
I said,
few years.
It's all on my my YouTube channel. I don't have a whole lot of videos because I don't just throw out videos just to put out videos. So when it comes along, I'll make the videos.
Go ahead and tell everybody what your YouTube channel is so everybody can get subscribed.
My YouTube channel is Dust Devil Garage.
Dust Devil Garage on YouTube.
Yeah.
Go check out Brian's channel. Make sure you subscribe and watch those videos. I know that later on tonight, I'm going to check out that Roadrunner video. It's probably going to make my heart hurt a little bit. 12.5. And it was posted for 15. Like, that's one of those situations. Like I keep saying, when I had money earlier this year, really?
Yeah.
Man, when I had money this year, if I the problem is those cars don't exist where I'm at. And if they do, other people snatch them up long before I can get to them. That's the problem. I thought I had all the power in the world. Once I had that cash in my hand, I was like, oh, it's on now. I can't wait for the car to come along. And, you know, I got my truck, so I'm really happy with it. But nothing like that showed up, or it'd be in the garage right now. You know,
they're still out there, though. That just proves that they're still out there, though.
They are.
My buddy found that Duster on Facebook Marketplace.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. See, I have a problem with Facebook Marketplace because it's never consistent for me. And sometimes it glitches out, and sometimes I don't know. I don't trust it 100%, but I have seen some good deals. I wish, and maybe I'm wrong here, but it seems too difficult to look nationwide for stuff.
Yes,
it seems like
it's really hard.
Like locally, you can find the local stuff, but I want to search nationwide. If Facebook wants to compete with Craigslist, you got to make it an easy to search nationwide type thing.
Yeah, my problem with that is it shows me the same like 12 cars. I'm like show me something different. I've looked at this one like 4 or 5 times already.
Yeah. Well, every time I go on Facebook Marketplace lately, my old blue truck shows up, and I'm like, yeah.
I actually have that saved. I have your old blue truck saved on mine.
Yeah, more power to him. I don't know if he'd want me to say this, but I saw in his private messages, he was like, or on his personal page, he said he'd take 15 for it. And I'm just like, hey man, if you get 15,000, because I paid 14,000 for the Mr. Norm truck, which I thought was super high. The only reason I bought it was because I thought the letters were cool. You know what I mean? It's not a real Mr. Norm truck. It is clean for a tin grill, but if it didn't have the letters on it, I've said it before, I would have never paid $14,000 for that truck. And because I know that blue truck and all the little issues that it had, if he gets that kind of money for it, that's insane. I can't. I'm going to be surprised.
Can I say one more thing real quick?
Yeah, go for it.
What we're doing right now, talking about this, me and a couple of YouTube buddies of mine, we actually put together a little thing that we do every 2 weeks. If Johnny was here, he came in on one of our lives, and it's called, because we're bigger guys, it's Wide Guys Car Talk. And we basically, that's what we do, because we were sitting around, the three of us, and we'd sit around and we'd send each other stuff off of Facebook and say, hey, look at this, and we talk about it and make fun of some of the cars. I was like, we need to do this on YouTube. So that's basically what we do on YouTube is, and every 2 weeks we're actually made it its own channel now.
Okay.
So the next one we do next week is going to be, we do it every Saturday. I'm
definitely going to tune in for one of those, because that sounds like right up my alley.
Oh, yeah. And it's not just, we're all three Mopar guys, but like the first car that anybody showed on there was a Nash Metropolitan that we had found. And yeah, it's pretty fun to watch.
Awesome. So you guys had Johnny Mopar on the show?
Well, he was in the
in the chat.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I sent him a message.
I would love to be on that side of things, because sometimes I sit here solo and talk about cars, and
I've watched you.
Yeah, it would be a hell of a lot funner to watch other people talk about cars. Awesome. Yeah, I wrote that stuff down. So Wide Guys Car Talk. That's funny. I like that.
Yeah.
I'll have to check that. How many guys do you guys have on that show?
It's 3 of us right now.
Okay.
I don't know if you know Jed Scott from Scott's Speed Shop.
Oh yeah.
He does that. He does that with me, and then he's got a friend William, and he's got a channel, Charger 383 Mopar.
Okay, yeah. Jed's got the Jezebel, right?
Yeah,
the Charger.
Yeah. I'm trying to get it. I wanted, because I listened to your podcast. First time I listened to it, I was actually going out to his house, and it's a 4-hour drive, and I was like, oh, Spotify. Oh, look, there's a Mopar podcast.
Nice.
I listened to that the whole way, and I've caught every episode since.
Awesome.
I'm trying to tell him, I'm like, man, you need to reach out to this guy. He would love your Charger.
He's one of those guys that I've seen, on the internet, on Facebook and on YouTube. and he's always been he's one of the. I have so many people that I've ran across, and I'm like, I got to get that guy on the show just because, if I'll talk to anybody, you know what I mean? But that Jezebel Charger is awesome. I love that thing. And I know he's got another, I think it's a Charger with a 451 stroker in it, right?
No, the Jezebel has the 451 stroker is his 73 Satellite.
Oh, okay.
And
yeah.
He's got his Duster, and he's got quite a few cars.
Awesome. Yeah. When I was looking up 451 stroker stuff, one of his videos popped up on YouTube, and I watched it like 4 to 5 times. I was like, oh yeah, this is fun.
You should look up his Yard Dart series. He's got an early A body dart that it's pretty wicked.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll check that out. I'll have to reach out to him. See if he wants to come on the show. Awesome, man. Matt, you joined us. We didn't get to hear from you yet. What's up, man?
The usual, just hanging out, hurricane prepping.
Prep. Yeah. How are things going over there, man? I don't watch the news much anymore. So I hear like little bits and pieces, and I'm like, what a hurricane? What the hell?
Yeah. Usually, I mean, it's been about like 30 years since we got like an actual hurricane up this way.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But, so I mean, literally, it's been running around all day, and just basically everyone's going nuts. And even just driving, it's like you're avoiding that because just people don't know how to handle stress.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, today was basically making sure the yard's good, making sure the cars are all tucked in. But that's basically that's my day.
That's crazy, dude. I always freak out when I hear about natural disasters in other parts of the world, like the hurricanes and stuff. And I keep forgetting that I live right next to volcanoes. And Steve's right over here too. Like we live next to volcanoes, and they're any moment they could go. And then they're talking about, oh, we're just waiting for the big one, the big earthquake. And for some reason, I think if we get a giant earthquake, then the volcanoes are going to go, oh, perfect timing. Boom.
Yeah, no, it's been interesting though.
That's crazy.
Forecasting, you think something like that they'd have like down, but it's literally been like, oh yeah, it's gonna be going like 100 miles that way. Oh, you don't worry about it as much, and then it's like right back to where they started. So just trying to stay ahead of that. But as far as like car and Mopar stuff goes, I mean, still haven't pulled the trigger on the wiring harness yet, but you know how that goes.
Oh yeah, I do know how that goes. I was looking at the Mr. Norm truck today because I wanted to. There's a local Mopar show. I don't know if you were on when we were talking about that. It's called Sunbust, and because of all the COVID BS and stuff, it's a super small show this year. They're not doing it how they used to in the past. And I was going to take the Mr. Norm truck down there, but when the wiring harness burned up, it burned up the wiring for my windshield wipers. And I live in Washington by Seattle. And if they say that there's even like a 10% chance of rain, I know that there's probably going to be some friggin' rain up here, and most of the time they're wrong with the weather report. So I was like, I don't want to be stuck, 70 miles away from home with no wipers when it's raining in that truck. So I'll probably just take the comfy Durango, and I think I'm going to take my dad down there. So it'll be a good time. But I really want to get the truck going in, but I just don't feel comfortable without everything working properly, including the windshield wipers. You know what I mean? It's like, all right.
Yep. But yeah, that was me when I put my Oldsmobile back on the road. It was just kind of like one of those, you had it all together, but you hadn't really did the full shakedown yet.
You talking about the wire that goes on the outside?
I'm talking about the wire that hooks up to the bulkhead connector. Right. It's got like 2 wires or 3 wires that come off of it, and one actually they both go to the windshield washer motor.
Yeah, I've got one of those sitting here.
Really? Let's bring it with you tomorrow. Can you do that?
I'll see if I can find it. I seen it like 2 weeks ago, but I'll go out.
Oh, okay. Is it? Do you know if they're the same?
Yeah, you got 2-speed, right?
Yeah. It's not 3-speed. Yeah.
I got a box of 2-speed wipers. Must have 20 of them.
Oh, really? I just need the problem was when it burnt up. All I really have to do, to be honest with you, all I have to do is snip the connectors off and put new ends on and just pop it back on. I just haven't had a chance to do it. That's a lie. I'm just lazy. I haven't done it yet.
I'll go find it, dig it up. I think I know where it's at.
Awesome. Cool, man. Bud is in the house. Muscle Car Syndicate. What's up, Bud?
Bud?
Long time no see. Can you hear us? You're glitching. Bud, can you hear me? Can you hear? We can't hear you.
Oh, I made it.
Okay, you're glitching out. We'll give you a minute or two to kind of hopefully your connection gets better. Yeah, so I'm gonna go to that show tomorrow. Mostly just to get some content. I thought it's like $10 to enter, and I was like, they're only doing like 3 trophies: best of show, first place, best of show, second, and best of show, third.
I got you. If you can get me, you got me.
Yes. Do you have a lag? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, lives.
I can see I got a lag unless you got me now.
Oh, I got you now, but your screen is glitching. But go ahead and talk to us, Bud. What's up?
Oh, not a lot. I just want to congratulate 100 episodes. Have me on in the past. That's been great. If you guys, is everybody hear me fine?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yep. Good.
I'm having terrible. I've never had a problem before on this show, and then all of a sudden tonight, I was all excited because you said you're doing 100 episodes. I was like, hey, I want to come in and congratulate you. And I've had the worst time getting this stupid laptop going for some reason. Usually it's good to go. But no, other than that, just coming along to say, hey, congrats, man. You worked hard to get where you're going. And
thank you. I appreciate that.
It's pretty much, what I was wanting to say. So
awesome.
As far as any Mopar stuff, nothing's really new. We've been super busy. So
I think the last time you were on, I don't think you had sold your charger yet.
Oh, it's public information now.
Oh shit! No. Nobody knows about that?
A couple people.
Oh shit! So. My bad. My bad, dude. It's not sold. He still has it.
Yeah.
All right, you can hate me now, bud.
No,
he's like, congratulations on 100, and I'm just leaking all the secrets. I did not realize.
Down the road.
I did not realize that, man. My bad.
No, it's no worries. Just trying to parlay into another RT that I know about. Just trying to keep it on the low. So it's just, it's a car that nobody really knows about. So.
All right. Well, don't tell me anything about it, clearly.
Too late. I just told the whole world that this is Mopars. Talking Mopars. So.
Right on. Well, thanks for coming on. Thanks for the kind words. And thanks for giving me some information to leak so you can hate me.
Yeah, no. It's I mean, I'll tell you the story. The car went up to Mopars in the park, and it ultimately sold to a guy a half hour away in Iowa. So it went 4 hours north to come back to go to a guy a half hour away.
Oh, wow.
So that's the deal. But my son still has his. So we're just kind of trying to get things going on it. But like I said, we've been super busy. School starts Monday. The Iowa State Fair is going on right now. We help with that. So I thought stuff's kind of been going on.
Right on. Well, thanks for joining us, and thanks for congratulating me on the 100 episodes. Keep me posted on that other project. I promise I won't open my mouth again. Johnny Mopar is in the house. What's up, Johnny?
What's up, guys, man? There was some rumors spreading around the internet about Bud selling his charger, so I thought I'd pop in and find out if it was true. Is that what's going on? Or?
Oh, you're killing me, Johnny. You're killing me. You're killing me. Yeah. Moving on. Oh, shit.
I thought I'd pop in for a little bit, and I'd like to congratulate you as well before we move on from the topic. Yay.
You,
cool, man.
Yeah. Thanks, buddy.
You're welcome.
It's been a fun 100 episodes, and everybody on the screen here, with the exception of Steve, because I met him in person. And I actually met Steve before I started the podcast. And I told him, hey, I'm starting a podcast. I'd love to have you on to talk about your car. So it's funny that it's been 100 episodes later, and I said we're gonna get Steve on. I'm gonna see if he'll let me come out to his place, and we'll get some videos of that Challenger, because that thing's gorgeous. I love that car. But yeah, 100 episodes in, man. I've just made so many. The best part about it is how many people and connections and the network of cool people that I have now in the world of Mopars. It's like, I feel like I could literally drive across the country, and if anything happened in any state, I could post on the page like, hey, I'm stranded, I need help, and then one of the creeps will come out and pick me up, and it'll probably never be seen again. I'll be a skin suit, but that's all right. It's just it's a blast, and I'm actually looking forward to getting the show on the road, and doing some stuff from all these events. So Muscle Cars at the Strip, that's coming up. Johnny, you're going to join me there, and then Holly's Mo Party with Blake, Mike, and Matt. But yeah, that's it's been a fun 100, and we'll see what happens. And this is my favorite right now. It's like the Brady Bunch of Mopars right here. So it's fun. It's fun. Braden's in the house. What's up, Braden? Braden says congrats on 100. Glad I can pop in. Been crazy busy with racing. He has been racing. That's why he hasn't been on the show. He's been doing all that fun local track stuff.
What's up, Braden?
Hey, so Chris, I had a confession.
Shit.
To make about your 100th episode here.
What's up?
So Johnny and Matt and I were kind of conspiring behind the scenes for this thing, but it just didn't come through to fruition when we found out or heard that you were approaching the 100th episode. I saw it sidebar messaged our friends here, and I said, all right, guys, like we got to do something for Chris's 100th episode, right? And so we're chatting, and we're like, man, what could we do? So we're looking, like, look right now, those of you that are watching live and not listening, to the recording or listening to it over your headset. Chris has this really cool red glowing backdrop. Like so I said, man, it is so like Hugh Hefner-esque, right? So the plan behind the scene was, I was going to kind of give a signal, and like we were going to hop off camera, and I'll put on like leisure coats and come up with a cornpipe and just kind of hang out, because we're like in the Mopar lounge of loungeness.
That's funny.
And we're gonna goof with you about your red backdrop and all your fanciness.
That would have been funny if you guys trolled me, and then I was like girls, and then like 10 blondes just came out. Oh, that would be hilarious.
Yeah, so it didn't work out. We all kind of got disorganized, but it's like, man, we wanted to pick on you a little bit for episode 100.
Well, the only reason why I have background color is because, for one, I hate the color of the walls in here. But two, all these live streamers I see, they always do blue and purple for some reason. I don't know if there's something to that, but I was like, I can't. So I didn't want to do blue and purple.
It looks cool. Don't get me wrong.
But I've got the power, dude. I've got the power. I mean, we can do whatever you want. Plum crazy. We can do some FJ5. You know what I mean? But it was actually, I thought about, because I have the app is on my phone, so I can control these lights from my phone. So I thought it would be funny to do an episode where I do a timer, so that every time it switches colors, I have to go to a different car. So I try to, get as much of my opinion out on these cars as possible. That was some fun I thought about doing, just because switch things up a little bit. But yeah, that would have been funny, dude. At first I would have been like, what the are you guys doing?
That's what I said. I was like, are you sure he's gonna get it? I don't know if he'll get it.
If one of you had a smoking jacket and a pipe, I probably would have. It probably would have clicked.
I think the pipe with the rope probably would have done it. So, that would.
I went as far as to send these fellas links to children's bubble pipes, like the ones you had as a kid. You put like the bubble stuff in it. Like I was like, all right, guys, we got to do this, And
that's funny.
I just kind of fell off, but
sorry,
the intent was there. Wait, that's all that matters.
We'll do something at the 200 mark.
Okay.
There you go.
All right.
You just gotta show up at Mo Party like that.
All right, yeah, you can do that.
Oh man. See, you don't want to troll me because I'm the ultimate troll. I deal with them every day. I'll figure something out. Johnny will be pushing his car next to, to General Mayhem, and I'll pop out the trunk. Boom! But except for when I pop out the trunk, I'll like kick it open and I'll be like duct taped and my mouth will be all, and I'll be like, help, he took me. Like, oh man. Yeah, I keep, every once in a while when I'm not busy, I will go to some of the posts that I've made on these videos because I've shared them quite a bit. And, every once in a while, I got this one troll guy who's like, basically told me I was coveting other people's possessions. He called me covetous or something like that. And I was like, what the hell is he talking about? And then I realized, oh, he's talking about me coveting other people's Mopars. And I was like, is there something wrong with like admiring somebody's car and wondering what they're doing with it? I don't understand why people are hating on that. I don't get it. And I keep thinking to myself, how many cars wouldn't have been saved or found? How many people wouldn't have gotten their dream car if they hadn't tried and knocked on that door of that car sitting in that yard or in that field? So I'm thinking to myself, are these haters, like, have they just never done that? Have they never had to knock on a door? Because some of us, we weren't born into this stuff. We don't have parents that have kept their cars forever. But some of us have to get out there and, do the legwork.
I think there's guys on the other side of the fence. There's the guys that have those cars in their yard and they're pissed off when everybody knocks on their door asking if it's for sale. Yeah. They're the guys coming out with a shotgun shooting down the drones, Dude, there was this guy, there was a 70 Coronet sitting like on this dirt trail. It was on the corner of this road, like mostly dirt roads out there, right? This is the paved street. You could see this 70 Coronet sitting out there and it looked clean. And it was like, man, but it looked sketchy. Behind the car was like all these trees, and it just looked like, don't come in here or it's going to be bad, right? Well, one day I see the guy out there walking along that road, on the dirt road where the Coronet is. So I pull in there, and I think I was even in my 70 Charger at the time, but I pull in there and I was like, hey, cool Coronet, is it for sale? And he was just like pointing, like, get out, like leave, get out of here, and there was no trespassing signs and stuff. And I go, hey, I was just wondering if the Coronet, he just kept pointing, leave, go. And I could see around the Coronet in the back, there was actually like an airplane in there. I don't know how it got there, and there was like a 66 Charger, and there was like some other Mopar sprinkled in there. And I was like, man, you could never see it from the road, from the paved street.
Wow.
But it was clear I wasn't welcome. So, and he didn't give a shit that I had a Mopar. I was in a Mopar. So I just put it in reverse and backed out.
Yeah, he didn't want you to see the 69 Daytona, Superbird, all tucked to the left a little bit.
And hey, that happens. Yeah. Sometimes that happens, and you just gotta know when you're not welcome. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I went and knocked on a door one time because I saw a Challenger in Duval, and I'll sell it. Walk back there. There's two Challengers. Well, how much you want? $100.
Oh shit!
See, this is why you ask. That's insane. How long ago was that, Steve? And don't tell me like last Wednesday, because
no, that's in the 90s. That's
okay.
I bought a 440 4-speed Challenger and a 383 automatic RT. Both were RTs for both of them for $500 out north there, and they used to be all over the place.
Yeah,
in the weeds.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I grew up in the wrong era, man.
Yeah. Oh, me too. I say it all the time.
Oh, me too.
I hear these stories, and it's just like, man. I still, every time Blake is on the show, I can't help but remember him telling me about walking through the wall, the hole in the wall. Those are the types of stories, man. I love hearing those stories. I love hearing the stories about getting the free Chargers, the $100 Challengers. I mean, gosh, you don't hear about it too often, like like in present day, but I mean, even in the 90s, that wasn't that long ago. You know what I mean? In the grand scheme of things.
It wasn't. It seems like yesterday for me. I mean, it's amazing how drastically like prices, even, well, like General Mayhem is not that long ago. You know, me trading it for a set of heads, that was just, I think it was 2007. Doesn't seem that long ago to me, but I mean, you can get a Charger for less than $3,000, or at least a body for less than $3,000 back then, you know?
Right.
And now that same car, it's insane.
Yeah, I have a couple. My dad has collected, like, he's a worse magazine collector than I am, but he collected like the auto traders and like the old car traders. And I picked one up from him last time I was there. He's like, hey, you want all these? And I was like, let me just snag one. I don't got room for all that stuff right now. So I snagged one and I was looking through it. And it just occurred to me today because I was moving some stuff and I saw that issue. And I was like, for the amount of money that I just paid for this Durango that I have for my daily driver, I could have bought two. I mean, not OE or Survivor quality cars, but I could have bought two really nice drivers with 440s. Like one was a 70 Coronet. It was plum crazy purple. I think I talked about it on the show one time. And I'm looking at some of the prices, and this wasn't even 20 years ago. And I'm like, I don't know what happened, but it's within the past, I don't know, I would say 10 years. I think things got really crazy.
Yeah. It's one of those where it's like the internet made things great for certain things, but I feel like the internet just completely exploded that market.
Yeah,
I think so too. Well, I think it's gone worldwide too. I think there's a worldwide interest in the hobby. Like in the 90s, I can remember in the 90s, like the Japanese currency had been skyrocketing in value compared to the dollar, and those guys were really getting into American muscle, and a lot of American muscle was going to Japan, and they were paying exorbitant prices for the cars back then, you know. And so I don't know, maybe it's with all these TV shows we have nowadays we didn't have in the 90s. It's become a worldwide obsession, you know. Get a piece of old muscle car Americana, and those cars are just getting plucked away. So I think the supply and demand is really at play here, you know.
Well, the availability of the sheet metal, before they started making the panels, you could buy a car because you couldn't fix it. You couldn't find a quarter panel. So it ain't worth nothing. I mean, when I first got my TA, I had this guy look at it, this body shop, and he says, well, you're going to need a donor car. They didn't make the metal back then. I was just like, my stomach just went, you know, well, I'm never going to get this car fixed.
And that was common. A parts car was common. I mean, it boggles the mind, but like if you were out to restore a car, you usually had a donor car there that you bought as a parts supply to fix the car that you were restoring. And then when you were done, the parts car got sold off and became a parts car for somebody else, you know, until it got to a point where it whittled down to nothing and ended up getting scrapped. But, you know, that's just how it was.
Back in the 90s, the sheet metal tools, the welders, I mean, you go buy a welder, it was just phenomenal priced. Now you can go down and buy one for $400.
Yeah.
You know, it's much easier to build that car now, and they're desirable big time. And
how many of you guys that were around when you could get the cheap cars, how many are you like, shit, I should have bought all of them? I just can't imagine what it would be like going from that market to see how much, like how drastically the prices have just skyrocketed. You know, cars you could get for $100 are now, I mean, you find a ratty 70 Charge or a Challenger RT. I mean, I've seen ratty ones that haven't ran in 30 years going for $25,000-$30,000. It's insane.
Yeah.
And the B bodies more so. I think if you get a second gen Charger, hold on to your hat.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be a complete rot box for $35,000.
Yeah.
But that's weird. Like in the 90s, it wasn't, the E bodies were the cars bringing all the money. I mean, B bodies were really common, even Chargers. You could buy Chargers all day long. It's just, and I think they probably still would be leading if it wasn't for the new challengers coming out. I think they robbed a lot of that market and slowed down the acceleration of e-bodies. And then now B-bodies have gone apeshit, and especially Chargers. I don't know if it's Fast and Furious is part of the reason, but
never thought Fast and Furious would affect Mopars. Damn it.
Right.
Something, but it's crazy, man. But even look at comparatively, take a 69 Super B, right? Unless not the A12. Let's not talk about the A12, but a base 69 Super B and a 69 Charger, and like the price difference is astronomically different.
Yeah, but not in the 90s. In the 90s, those cars would have been on par with each other. I mean, if you took a 383 Charger and a 383 Super B, they would have been on par with each other as far as price. A 318 Charger would have brought far less money. Now today, you can have a 318 Charger bring just as much money as like a 383 4-speed Super B, which is freaking mind-boggling,
Yeah.
But
in 1985, I know a TA Challengers were going for 20 grand, which was crazy back then. That was crazy money. It's like,
yeah,
wow. And I wanted that car.
I remember seeing an this would have been the late 90s. I saw an A12 Super B, like Hemi orange. I mean, the car was gorgeous, completely restored, 30 grand. And I thought to myself, man, I know it's a lot of money. It was ridiculous. I mean, you could buy a Charger all day long for probably $5 grand or less back then, a decent driver, totally restored car, maybe a lot more, maybe like 20 grand back then, but
that's crazy.
I remember thinking, like, they're so rare, there's so few of them that, man, I wish I could pull it off, and I just never really pursued it. And it was just an exorbitant amount of money back then, never would have thought they would be bringing what they're bringing today, but also, had a feeling that they would be going up a lot more so than other cars. But yeah, it's crazy.
I just wonder if it's ever going to slow down. Is something else going to take off where, if it could just let up just for a little bit, you know what I mean? Like I seriously thought about when I saw my blue truck for sale, I was like, if he gets even remotely close to 17,000 for that thing, I was like, I'm just going to throw the Mr. Norm truck up for 45,000 and see if anybody bites on it. Because there was a guy at this, I was at the Snohomish car show, and this guy came up and he told me that he deals with C10 trucks. And it sounded to me like he had just sold a couple C10s that he had built. And he asked me, he goes, would you ever sell this thing? And of course, I'm high on the show and I'm like, yeah, there's no way I'm going to sell this truck. And I told him, I was like, man, I got to be honest with you. Nobody could offer me the amount of money, or would offer me the amount of money that it would take for me to let this truck go, because I chased it for so long and I'm trying to use it as a marketing tool now. And I sometimes I wonder if I would have just thrown a number to see how he would have reacted, because he seemed like the type of guy that buys cars, maybe does some modifications and then flips them. Kind of like the guy who bought, William, the guy who bought my blue truck. I knew he was going to flip it too. That's the thing. I didn't expect the guy who bought my Dart to try to flip it, because now that's sold. But I knew that William was going to flip my truck. And to be honest with you, the thought that went through my head was, by the time he gets tired of it and he's done all the work to it, maybe I'll be in a position to buy it back and I can avoid having to do all that work. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
But even if I had 17 grand, I couldn't even offer, like, I would almost insult him of how much I would give him for that truck. I like the way it is right now. I mean, Mike Coffey said that he thought I sold that truck for too cheap. And I was like, hey, Mike, why don't you say something then?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I also wasn't trying to make a ton of money. I wasn't selling them in a flip scenario. I was selling them to at least make maybe a couple $100, but everything that I sold, I took the biggest hit on that damn 6-pack hood. Johnny, you just told us how much you spent on that fiberglass 6-pack hood. I was in it, right around $1,000. I sold it for $400. So
man.
I took that 600 and I threw it back because I've kept pretty close calculation of where I ended up after I sold everything, and I'm still in the green. I'm still positive, but that 600 really dropped that number down. So I was like, okay, so I'm finally at a point where everything I have left I'm keeping, and I'm still up when it's all said and done. So even with the blue truck, so I can't hate on the guy too much for trying to turn a quick profit, but that's a lot. That's a big profit. I don't know.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Somebody's going to have to really love that truck. And I loved it, but I'm cheap. The guy wanted $4,000. I offered him $2,000 if I could drive it away, and he accepted the offer. So I don't know. I think William likes that truck a little bit too much, or he's just testing the water. He might really only want $8,000 for it. He'll get somebody that goes there and is like, I'll give you $8,000 for this truck. Sold. You never know. He says he'd take 15, but I think he'd take less than that. That's my opinion.
Yeah, but he might not really want to sell it. That might be his I don't want to sell it price,
I think that's I like this truck a lot, and to get it out of my hands, you got to pay me what I want for it price. That's what I think. Because same thing with Mr. Norm truck. You would have to pay me what that truck is not worth for me to sell it, just because I have plans for it. You know what I mean? Now, once the Hemi's in it and a couple other things are done, the suspension's done, then maybe it could command a higher price, just because it's hard to find them in that decent shape with that kind of style. But a couple other guys from the Tin Grill group were telling me how much they sold theirs for, with just a little patina. And I'm just like, you're kidding me. 5 figures into $10,000 for a tin grill? I'm like, wow, that's insane to me. So Johnny, you got it's worth money.
What's it worth?
$12,000 probably. It's a big block. It's a big block. Put it up for $15,000.
It's on its way to Washington.
I mean, my blue truck has a slant 6. I'm like, man, if it had a V8, it's like, okay, that would, but
we don't find I don't find any tin grills down in the South. That's crazy. They're all like the 81 and up. If I run across a tin grill, it is very, very rare.
Did it just rust away, or do cars rust really bad out in your neck of the woods? Or
no, it's. I mean, I wouldn't say it's as awesome as Arizona or Texas as far as conservation, but I think really a good bit of the South is not Mopar country, so I think they just threw them away. They crushed them.
Yeah, I can't even. We talked about this one time on one of your podcasts, Chris. But I remember as a kid, this would have been, let's say, in the '80s, like early '80s. And living in Los Angeles, you couldn't turn a corner and not see a tin grill. They were everywhere. I mean, nobody had them like fixed up. Nobody lowered them. They were not hot rods. They were not anything. They were just like your grandpa's truck. That's all they did. They were just work trucks, pickup trucks. You used them to go haul shit from, the lumber yard or whatever. But they were literally everywhere. You could not go a block without seeing one. There was so many of them. I can't even imagine how many they made. I don't know what the production numbers are on them, but it was like thousands and thousands of them. And then, I mean, when you look today, like I see one pop up every now and then, like driving on the road. There's a couple of them that are around where I live that are daily drivers, I would call them. But nowhere near the quantity I remember as a kid, Yeah. I think they just went through the junkyards. And I could tell you in the 90s, man, when I was going through the junkyards in the 90s, like I saw, there was one boneyard that had like really good cars, and I remember the first time going there was 3 Chargers, 370 Chargers in there, which is mind-boggling. But say the later 90s, when you didn't see B bodies or E bodies, trucks, there was always like 10 or 15 trucks, and there was always 10 or 15 vans. I was always trying to get the wheels off the vans because they were wide, And C bodies, there was always, I'd say, at least 5 to 7 C bodies. So you had all the big block parts you needed, to pull off the engine, or a whole big block. but that's changed.
Yeah, I think out here, I know Cash for Clunkers, man. That just ruined a lot of stuff.
Oh God,
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. We had that happen too.
When's the last time you saw a square body Dakota?
Yeah, that I see them pop up every once in a while, and I always check to see if they have if they're the 318 car or trucks, because those are the ones that I want. And every once in a while there will be a cheap one, but it'll disappear really quick because I know that there's it's a really tight Mopar community around here, and I know that when stuff pops up, I can guarantee if a decent priced Mopar pops up locally, every single one of my local Mopar friends has seen it already. There is no getting first dibs on it. Somebody has already seen it, and somebody's probably already made an offer. You have to be, I don't know, chain smoking with a friggin' jug of coffee, just waiting for the next one to pop up, and then you're ready. Yeah. But I don't know. We did have a question here, and I'm curious to see where you guys all fall. So I'll answer first. What do you think about the F-body cars? Not the Camaros. We're talking about the 76 to 80 Mopars, like the Valaris, where they tried to bring the Roadrunner name back and stuff like that. I like them. Obviously, when it comes down to it, in the grand scheme of Mopars, they're not my first pick, but I always get a little excited when I see one of the Roadrunner cars or an Aspen RT or a Super Coupe. I think they're really cool, and I think they're underloved. And I wish there was more aftermarket support, but you can still do cool stuff to them. But I haven't seen, I would really like to see, if you're going to resto mod one, and I don't like to toss that word around, but for instance, what Ring Brothers did with the Javelin. I don't know if you guys saw that car, but it's amazing. It made people go, oh, those can be very cool, because you kind of have to have, with the AMXs and anything AMC. I mean, it's like a niche, you have to really like that stuff. And that's kind of the way I feel about these F-body Mopars. I think you really have to like them, but they're cool. I mean, you can get them with T-tops, you can get them 4-speeds, V8 cars. I keep running into slant 6 ones locally, which is kind of a bummer. But if there so I worked construction when I was 19, so it's been quite a few years. And I remember in the backyard of somebody's house, they had a Roadrunner, and it was late 70s T-top car. It had the louvers on the windows. And at the time, I was a broke kid. I didn't even think about asking if it was for sale. And I will regret it to this day because I can't remember exactly where that house was. But if I could find it, because it looked like a clean car. I don't know what was going through my mind. I think I was too busy figuring out, where we were going to drink that night or something. I don't know. Yeah. But I that's one of my biggest regrets. And then the last time I was in Eastern Washington getting my van, I was with my buddy Adam, and we're driving, and I look off the side of the road and I see an orange, black, and yellow, the Roadrunners. It stood out like a sore thumb right off the freeway, off of the street. And not even 2 weeks later, locally, I saw a guy post on one of the local groups, hey, just picked up this Roadrunner in Eastern Washington. And I was like, I'll be damned, that looks like the car. And I asked him and he wouldn't respond. And I was like, son of a, he got it. Oh, I was so mad. So I'll still see if it's out there, but I think they're cool. I wish there were more of them in decent shape available. Blake, what do you think about them?
We had one. I had a 4-door Volare. It's a sedan. It was it was an old lady's car. We bought it from the son after she passed, and it has something ridiculous, like 45,000 miles on it. There's some rust, but he was a Mustang guy, and he put some 17-inch steel cop car wheels on this thing. I think that's what he had. He just wanted to put some tires that weren't flat, and this thing had a stance, and it was just cool. And this car was cool. I think, like the ones you're talking about, the louvered up, flared up ones, I think if you put a nice set of wheels and tires on them, I don't know, they're really growing on me right now. I think they're pretty cool cars. The graphics are just in your face out there.
How about the petty kit car one with the flares? That thing's that thing was ahead of its time.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I could really see one of those cars just having a nice set of wheels and some stance on them, being a fun enjoyable cruiser because I still think they're attainable. Like they haven't caught on, so you could probably get one for just a few thousand in amazing shape. I think it's worth the shot. If you stumble across one. I just don't know what the support is like for them. So those F cars, it's like what FMJ, a couple of them, they have that kind of different suspension on the front end, right? So I don't know what offerings there are.
Yeah, it's like a transverse type torsion bar setup or something.
Yeah,
it would be interesting to see somebody really take one to the next level. And I don't know if anybody's actually done it yet. I haven't really done much research on them.
I don't think so.
Yeah. Have you heard of anybody Hemi swapping one, Blake?
I have not.
Really? That's crazy to me.
I don't know if it would take your traditional center sump because, like that whole transverse torsion bar setup.
Yeah.
I know Firmfield makes some things for them.
Interesting.
Yeah. I've seen there's a guy that goes up to I go up to Adirondack Nationals in New York. Not going this year, but guy, I believe it's a 440. And one.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
so
cool.
you can fit them in there.
Yeah, they got the space. They got spool mount. They're a spool mount type K member, but there is some aftermarket for them because a lot of the hot rod guys would take that whole front suspension out and put it under fat fendered Ford truck or old hot rod and stuff because it was all standalone. The upper A arms are on the K member, your torsion bars are through the K member, so you could take that whole subsection out and you've got wheels, tires, brakes, you got everything you need and roll it underneath a hot rod and you got yourself a nice setup. So I think Fat Man was making drop spindles for him and stuff like that. So yeah.
Oh man.
But yeah, it's kind of crazy because it's like the car itself, nobody bothered to ever really fix them up or hot rod them or do anything with them. But the parts to them, at least the front suspension parts, there was stuff going on for them.
I think some people resented them because when they put the Roadrunner name on it, I think there was a little resentment there. I think they're cool. Blake, it sounds like you think they're cool.
Yeah. It sounds very Johnny. It sounds very Mustang 2-esque. It's like, the only thing he wants the front suspension off of.
Yeah.
That's funny. That's crazy.
Yeah. Matt, do a lot of them.
I have a soft spot for those cars, though. I think I told you last time I was on. My dad had one. It was a 80 Aspen. It was a sedan. Thing was brown, that brown color. And actually, the funny part, I didn't even mind that color. I really didn't. It was like the only brown you could ever put on a car and not hate.
Yeah.
And then I had the tan interior. Back then it was like no tint at all, so it was like the cleanest glass you could ever see. And then he had like 14-inch Kragers on it with the BFGs, and the thing just of course lowered that a little bit. Had the air shocks in the back, and he drove that for like years. And that was literally like what I went to school, elementary school. That was my ride.
Nice.
Cool, man.
Steve, what do you think about those ones?
I've owned one, never drove it on the street because it was an Evergreen Speedway car.
Oh, cool.
Number 43 baby blue.
Nice.
And I raced it at Evergreen Speedway, and it's all right. Never drove it on the street. It was always a race car.
Cool.
But trying to tweak the front end to go left all the time was not easy.
Yeah.
But it had a roll cage, the whole 9 yards.
Wow. Whatever happened to that thing?
Oh, I sold it. Oh man. Yeah. I can't remember who I sold it to, but I sold it way back when.
Is there? I feel like there's a little hint of regret in your voice. You regret selling that thing, or what?
Yeah, I mean, I love that racing that car. I mean, it was fun. It was just, it was 4-speed, kicking the butt.
Nice.
It's like, but going around a 3/8 track. So, anyway.
All right. Johnny, what's your final verdict on the F-body cars?
I'd say it depends. It depends where his question's coming from. Like, if he's already got one, I think they're cool cars, and I like Matt's description of it. Like, if you got it cheap and you put some cool wheels on it, like especially some cop car or just plain wheels with dog dish caps, and you dropped it a little bit and you just rolled it, I think they're pretty cool cars. Here in California, like, we can't do anything hot rod with them because anything 76 or newer, we have to smog, and those things have got a lot of like vacuum lines and stuff like that. So if you lived in California and you're asking me, should I buy this car? I would say no.
Yeah.
And in my time in the 90s, those cars, we stole the disc brakes off of them. They were, you go to the boneyard and you rip the disc brakes off of them, and I couldn't tell you how many I've seen in the junkyard where they're just like in pristine condition, missing the whole front disc brakes and shit.
Oh man.
But yeah, that's my thoughts. Oh, hey, real quick. So my coffee, I don't know if I told you this story, but did you see that carcass that I brought home, a 71 Charger?
Yes.
So long story short, that guy, he had a bunch of Dodge truck stuff, but he also found an original Richard Petty car, right? And he bought that Charger to pull the body off to restore the chassis because it had a Cordoba body on it. He restored it back to the original Richard Petty, body and stuff, and sold it for a shitload of money. He also has one of those Richard Petty Valaris. It's like tube chassis car, and I believe it had a 360 in it, and I remember seeing the motor there on the ground, and he was talking about some special stuff on it. I don't know if it was, I can't remember what it was. I can't remember if it was like the motor mount ears on it or something, but there was a lot of funky stuff with that engine that was very specific to that kit car. So
interesting.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Pretty cool.
I remember seeing some of the advertisement stuff for that.
Yeah,
it was like you could buy it in different stages. Like you could get like just the chassis, or and it was like the price differences. I mean, now it's like probably be like 10 grand between every level, but back then it was like, oh, for $500 more, you can get like the whole body.
Yeah.
Right on. But what's your verdict on the F bodies?
Well, in Iowa, we can do whatever we want with the car. So we don't no inspection, no smog, no whatever. So we could have some real fun. But I like the Aspens. Nothing against the Valeries or anything, but give me an Aspen RT with some T-tops, and we'll do some old cruising on the back roads of Iowa.
Yeah, hell yeah. Awesome. Brian, what's your verdict on the F bodies?
Oh, I love them, but the problem is actually finding one in good condition because, like you were saying before, the sheet metal's not out there. And how many of those cars right now have not just been scrapped but returned to the earth? Because there was rumors of those things, paint bubbling up on the showroom floor with rust.
Wow. I think Dodge still has that problem, to be honest.
Yeah, they do. But I think they're cool cars. I know a lot of people hate on them, but I'd love to see one with like a blown 440 in it and side pipes and
shit. Now after this, I'm going to be on Craigslist looking for shit.
I feel like I want to side pipe something now because this. I don't know. That seems cool.
I love side pipes. I've loved them since I was a little kid.
Sir. That's the beauty of a van, because you can throw them on there, and it's supposed to have side pipes. You know what I mean? Nobody's going to judge you if your van has side pipes, unless they're not hooked up. That pisses me off. If you're going to have I don't like show tubes, really. They look cool, but if you're going to have all the pipes, they better all be active, because I'm having a real hard time, because I like the look of the show tubes, but it's going to annoy me knowing that there's 3 dummy tubes. You know what I mean? That's going to annoy me, but I think just for looks alone, I'd have to do it. But I've seen a couple vans got underneath it, and I'm like, what the hell is this? They just hung the side pipes. They're not even hooked up to anything. That is like, that's worse than putting this controversial. That's worse to me than putting an LS in a Mopar. There, I said it. If you got side pipes and they're not hooked up, we're fighting. Those are fighting actions right there.
You want to see something that'll blow your mind? Google new Challenger with side pipes. They look amazing.
Really?
Yeah.
So people are doing it?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Really?
I had the idea the other night. I was talking to my friend and I was like, he hates side pipes, but I was like, I'm gonna look that up, and damn, somebody's already doing it.
Really? Brian, I'm gonna look it up right now, and if it looks like shit, we're gonna blame you. Okay.
Well, real quick, there's a guy in Mankato, Minnesota that has a 77 Aspen RT that he will trade for a 350 and a 700 R4 transmission.
Really?
Yeah, looks like it runs and drives. He said, or looking for Polaris, Monacos, or Satellite Slant 6 cars. What's out there?
All right, now we're all doing it. We're all going to look now.
Why is this not? There we go. Yeah, my final verdict on those, honestly, I think they fall under that category of car that I think would be a great starter Mopar for somebody. If you found one cheap in decent condition, why not? Give it a shot.
Yeah.
So I got to go find some wiring and I got to get ready for tomorrow. So I'll see you guys later.
All right, Steve, thanks for joining us, buddy. Appreciate you.
Yep.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Okay. See you tomorrow.
All right, buddy.
Later.
Well, I'm about to share the screen here with these. Brian, you might be onto something, dude. Because I'm just based on what I see alone, I'm not too mad. Let's see here if I could share this screen. This is kind of funny because I was expecting it to be hideous, but like I said, I'm not too disappointed in what I'm seeing. Come on. All right, let me go down here.
That blue one right there. I love that one.
Why is it? Hold on a second. Oh, come on, computer. It seems like every time I stream at the same time, I'm trying to just open that one picture, but it's not doing it. All right, so we got this blue one. It doesn't look too bad. When the guys put the fatter tires, like and they try to give it the staggered look, you can either make or break it. I think this guy needs different wheels on that thing. But I'm not mad at those side pipes, dude, to be honest with you. I've seen a lot worse. Those aren't too bad.
I think my favorite one is that black one, 2 cars below the blue one on the other side. You got the big picture of the blue
This
one.
guy right here?
I think that might be it. Those side pipes got no, that ain't it.
Oh, no.
The side pipes got like copper or gold.
Oh,
okay. Here we go.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, I don't know if it's the 80s in me, but I'm really digging gold lately. Like, I don't know, like especially in a black car, black and gold, like it's just, I don't know, I think it's cool now.
That's funny. The link to this, it says, anyone have lake pipes? No laughing. Side pipes? No laughing. That does not look bad. I'll be honest. Would I do it myself? I mean, I would have to see. These are the show tubes. This blue one's got the show tubes I was talking about, where there's a couple of them are dummy tubes, and only one of them is actually legit. But it doesn't look. I mean, I could see it being a love-hate relationship. It's got to be set up right. I don't like this one based on the wheels alone. But I could see how somebody would like it. So that wasn't too bad, Brian. I won't judge you on that. That's not too bad.
I'm really big into like the street freaks. The big tires,
I like them too.
Jacked up back end, and that's it. Side pipes and bug catcher scoops. I love all that crap.
Yeah, the Crosbys, Luke and Olivia, they have that 71 GTX with side pipes on it, and that it just looks badass. I've been trying to get them on the show. I want to talk to them about that car.
Are you talking about is that the yellow one?
Yeah, the curious yellow one. Yeah, that thing's sweet. I like it. But side pipes, I if it came down to, let me just say this: the 80s, when they were doing the side pipes and all the aggressive rakes and stuff like that, that might be my favorite segment in the muscle car era, where 80s where they're just jacking them up and they were just so aggressive with it. I don't know. I've always liked that stuff. So when I get into the old hot rod magazines and I see the street machines, that's the word I was looking for. I like street machines, but it has to be the right setup. You know what I mean? I saw, I wonder if I can find it. There was a Superbird that was like street machined out. I think it had side pipes on it, but I was like, that is so ridiculous that I love it.
Yeah, I saw a 72 Charger like that in San Diego one time. It wasn't too over the top. It was just yellow. He had some homemade fabricated scoops that weren't very attractive, but the car was stink bug, man, and it had some wide fatties underneath the back, and it was just like, it looks so badass.
That's what I love.
Yeah.
Did you get that I just sent you, Chris?
Let me see here.
I think the funny cars is what kind of, the fiberglass floppers, funny cars kind of started that look. I think people wanted to mimic it.
I think I got it. Yeah. Hold on a second. This is, I don't know how to share this right now. Yeah, those are, hold on. Let me see if I can get this on screen here.
Johnny, I'm still trying to find your biggest fan out there.
Can you guys see that?
My biggest fan. Oh, yep. Yeah.
There you go.
No luck, huh?
No.
That's the back tires on my Duster. That's how I'm going to leave it.
I like it.
Love it.
I like it. I approve. That's badass. Very cool. I'm trying to see.
It's probably the mailman, Matt.
Yeah, no, he was like, these Charger stickers are pretty sweet. I'm just hold on to them.
All mine.
Well, we are 2 hours into episode 100. What time is it? 10 o'clock. I need to go get gas in the Mr. Norm truck. And to be honest, I want to celebrate 100 episodes by going on a little cruise with the truck. Nice. I appreciate each and every one of you guys for joining me. Steve, if you're still listening, thank you for coming on the show. I appreciate it. Here's to 100 more. And, Mopar, no car, no Mopar left behind, guys. Why don't we go from the top, starting with Blake? Blake, where can everybody find you and all your content and all that kind of fun stuff?
You can start with the main website, DIYHemi.com. You can find us on YouTube as DIY Hemi, Facebook is DIY Hemi, Instagram. I think that's about the extent of it right now.
Nice. Matt?
At Side Road on Instagram, SIDE_RHODE, like Rhode Island. That's literally about to get hit by a hurricane.
Oh God! Well, I'm praying for you guys.
No,
I think you'll be okay.
I just checked. It's literally like crossing like probably 20 miles away from me. So
that's insane. Shit. I'm surprised you still have a great connection. I'm surprised.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's not here yet. So we'll see what happens, but I'll keep you posted on that.
All right, buddy. Johnny Mopar, you're up next.
Johnny Mopar on YouTube, Johnny Mopar on Instagram. No space between the Johnny Mopar and Instagram. And then I just started a Johnny Mopar Garage on Facebook, a page. So cool. Those 3 places.
Bud, you're up, buddy.
Yeah, Muscle Car Syndicate on Instagram, all one word. And then Muscle Car Syndicate on YouTube.
Awesome. And last but most certainly not least, Brian, where can they find you?
Dust Devil Garage on YouTube and on Instagram, and Wide Guys Car Talk on YouTube.
Awesome. And obviously, if you're here at Talking Mopars podcast, then you know where you can find me. There you have it, my friends. Another episode of Talking Mopars is in the books. Episode 100 in the can. We're good to go. Here's to another 100, hopefully 1,000. Hopefully, I mean, some of these podcasts out there, they've got thousands of episodes. I'm like, how is this even possible? But I made it to 100, so I think it's going to be smooth sailing from here. Hopefully, we'll see what happens. But for everything you need to know about the podcast, talkingmopars.com, and you can call me and leave a voice message that I'll play on the show, 209-28 Mopar, And you can email me, chris@talkingmopars.com. That's it, guys. I am your host, Chris Albrecht. These are my friends. And that was Talking Mopars, episode 100, live. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for listening to Talking Mopars, your direct connection to all things Mopar. Until next time, remember, no Mopar left behind.